Don't forget to like and share this broadcast with your friends and family on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. Let all of your friends and family know to subscribe so that you know when the Center of Hope is going live.
Welcome to Real Talk. If it's Monday night and it's 9 p.m., it's time for Real Talk. Welcome all the Real Talkers tonight. I'm your co-host, Bishop Mitchell G. Taylor. And as you're coming into the virtual space on tonight, if you want to bless someone else, sharing is caring. Hit that share button and share this broadcast and tag as many people as you possibly can and let them know that Real Talk is on the air. And I'm excited about being with you again on tonight. Listen, we had an exciting weekend. We had, my Lord, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Justina, bless you. Elder Joanne Thomas, bless you. Mother Gladys Gray, bless you. Ann McCrae, bless you on tonight. Elder Trina McCrae Davis, bless you on tonight. My brother, my right-hand man, Shafi Rivera, with us on tonight. Bless you. Blessings to all the Real Talkers tonight that have joined us on this Monday night. Many of you, if you're in the Northeast region, you're preparing for a storm. They're saying that we're going to have the biggest snowstorm or the largest accumulation of snow in 2 years. We haven't had this much expected snow in 2 years. So get ready to button down the hatches. Juanita Wins, bless you. Barbara Waring, bless you, sis. Barbara Smith Taylor, bless you. Miss Candy Can, bless you. I think I know who that is. That's Lacey Lace. Linda Green, bless you, Linda. Thank you, Mother Gray, for sharing on tonight. Thank you for sharing on tonight. Listen, just before we get started, I don't want to forget this on tonight. Oh, man. Who is this one from? Oh, yes. Here we go. Okay. To Bishop and the Kohai family, we, the Scott family, that's our mother Scott, would like to thank you so much for your prayers and love during the time of our bereavement. Mother Scott. And that's for the homegoing service of her husband, Brother John Scott. Also, from the family of Lillian Arletha Long, dear Bishop Taylor and the Center of Hope International, perhaps you sent a lovely card, sat in a chair, sent a flower piece, or we saw you there, your kind words, perhaps just a thought of us that day. Whatever you did to console our hearts, we thank you, whatever the part. And then handwritten, thank you for all your support. It goes a long way. Love, Mother Eunice Newland and the Long family. So our prayers go out to all of those folks that lost loved ones. And then, of course, we appreciate you sending the cards of appreciation on tonight. Also, but let me bring in my co-host on tonight, the Honorable Bishop Liston Page II. Bishop, bless you.
Good evening, Bishop Taylor. How you doing tonight, my friend?
Listen, if it got any better, I couldn't stand it. The Lord has been good. The Lord has been good. And just going over a few of the highlights for this weekend. We had a tremendous outpouring this weekend. They tell me that Highway Church is not standing. You guys had to call the contractors in this morning to put the sanctuary back together. I don't know what y'all doing over there on 371 South 10th Avenue in Paterson, New Jersey, but it's reverberating around the country here. And so, yeah, and at Center of Hope, we had an explosion. at 12-11 40th Avenue. The Lord met us in a powerful way. And then on top of that, the Chiefs won. And so, you know, I was happy about that. Sorry for the Niners and all those fans, but it is what it is. Also, I wanted to mention Brother Douglas Carr and his wife, Carmen Carr, celebrating 26 years.
Wow.
Because I married them 26 years ago. And they're celebrating 26 years of marriage on this Wednesday. Happens to be Valentine's Day. Okay. And also their son, Keyshawn, Officer Keyshawn Carr, had a birthday last week. And so happy birthday to him. And also to all the February celebrants, Administrator Elaine, Phoebe has a birthday on Wednesday, Valentine's Day. Then her daughter Sonia has a birthday today. And I've been praying for Taraji. So listen, we've got a lot of exciting things going on. But then there's also, you know, of course, with all the good news, there's some sad news. On this weekend, we lost a general in the kingdom, Bishop and presiding prelate, Bishop McKinley Green, and who Reese Staggers, who used to be a part of that church after she left her grandmother's church, and I had the opportunity to preach there several times. And Bishop Green was 83 years of age.
Wow.
And just wanted to read this missive that went out. And he always said that he wanted to, if he went home with the Lord, he wanted to go from his church. And he not only died at his church, but he died in his pulpit, behind his pulpit, standing at the pulpit, leaning on the pulpit. And he went home to be with the Lord in that split second. But I wanted to read this. It says, "Grace, mercy, and peace from our Lord Jesus Christ, dear members of our nation, and to the faithful in Christ. It is with a heavy heart and profound sadness that we announce the passing of our esteemed and beloved founder and presiding prelate, Bishop McKinley Green, who was called to his eternal rest on Friday, February 9th, 2024. This loss is not only felt deeply within our church community, but also across the nation, where his spiritual guidance, unwavering faith, and compassionate leadership have touched the lives of many. Bishop Green served as the founder and presiding bishop for 40 years, during which time he exemplified the virtues of kindness, integrity, and devotion to the teachings of our faith. His commitment to serving the Lord, his congregation, and the broader community has been evident in every aspect of his ministry. And we are certain that we'll get more information. Matter of fact, I do have more information. His homegoing is this Sunday at 6 p.m. at the True Worship in Brooklyn, New York. True Worship in Brooklyn, New York. And Bishop Eric R. Figueroa will be the celebrant on Sunday evening. Also, Bishop Figueroa is turning 70 years of age on this Thursday, all these February birthdays. So a happy birthday to Bishop Eric R. Figueroa Sr. On his 70th birthday on this Thursday. Also, Bishop Page, I want to thank you, and I want to thank all the Real Talkers for assisting us in getting the word out and purchasing tickets and supporting the concert for college. And this is my first opportunity since Wednesday to thank the Real Talkers. Of course, I was thanking people on Sunday and Sunday morning in both services, but I wanted to thank all the Real Talkers, because not only did we fill the auditorium, but it was with overflowing. It was packed to capacity and overflowing into the halls and outdoors, out in the hallways of the college and what have you. And we had a tremendous concert, and we were able to reach our goal. Our goal was $200,000, and we reached that goal of $200,000. I want to thank all of the members of the Center of Hope, all of the Real Talkers, all of the Highway Nation, everyone that assisted in any way, in every way that you did. We thank you. And I don't take it for granted what you did, hitting the website, getting the word out. It was a tremendous night. So thank you for your patronage on that night. So I got my thank yous out on tonight. Bishop just wanted to get those in the way on this evening. But Bishop, tell us what's happening at the Highway Nation. Tell us what's going on in the Listing Page 2 Ministries this week.
We just had a wonderful service on yesterday, and then we culminated it with our Super Bowl party, which was a great time of fellowship, and it was just a good time. Of course, I didn't see the rest of the game there, but I was home. I was fit to be tired. I was so tired. But it seemed to be a very, very great gathering. So I'm excited anytime we can fellowship as a community outside of the worship experience. I push that. I think you get to know people better when you fellowship with them outside of the worship experience.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's one thing to be in church and worshiping God, but as in the book of Acts, they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, but that wasn't it. Fellowship and breaking of bread. Fellowship and breaking of bread, or breaking of bread and fellowship, whatever order you want to put it in. But it was not only the word, and I think that a lot of times we think that it's all right, we're in church together and I don't have to see you anymore. But there's also a time to play out what we've been impacted by in that fellowship of the word, that doctrine of the word, that has to be played out amongst ourselves. And sometimes, a lot of times, I like to, feel that same interaction amongst each other. And I think that, we put a lot of emphasis on showing that love to the proverbial world. And we use the world as being analogous of those that are outside of our faith context, right? And then, but that art is lost on those that are in our faith context, which really becomes a very weird dichotomy for us as believers. And so I think that fellowship is very, very important. Very, very important. Bishop, moving back to our conversation or continuing rather from our conversation on last week, and we hit so many different salient points as it relates to leadership and those qualities of leadership, expectations, and those particular components that are expected to be, fused into the execution of leadership and so on. And we talked about rather modern day leadership, or this postmodernistic leadership, and how different contexts lend to different things. And and I think that one of the things that we didn't really get to brave is the fact that in our leadership context, how far are we allowed to push into a space, or push into those spaces that we consider evangelistic thrust in order to bring people into our faith context. But I'll also say this, that why is it that the church protects the world, but the world does not respect the church? And so I think that, you know, looking at those dynamics, you know, is something I'd like to pose to you on tonight, because, you know, in as much as we as believers want to impose what we believe so that there may be some persuasion on the part of the listener or those that are being impacted, how far, you know, are we willing to go, or how far can we go, or how far are we able to go without crossing any lines? And when do we know that we've crossed the line? And have we seen those lines being crossed? And of course we have, but what is your thought, you know, as it relates to that?
I think when we go back to talking about leadership competencies, I think it's important that, as you forestated so eloquently about this being a post-modernistic society, a secular humanism, and diversity, religious pluralism, I think what has hurt us is our desire to be relevant, but we've lost our relevance. And we lost our relevance because we're trying to identify with a system, with a structure that is secular. It's not sacred. And if we don't embrace what we would consider the tools or the vehicles of the sacred, most modern believers will call us prehistoric dinosaurs, or that we're archaic, or that we're out of step with society. But the question is, are we called to be in step with society? Are we called to be a part of the culture? Or are we commissioned to be peculiar, to be different, to be set apart, to be an example, to set a standard? And I think because we don't have the proper competencies, we have to blend in, or we have to come up with these man-made Pentecostal inventions or iterations. We get caught into the mimicry of copying and being a reflection of other people that we don't really understand. But when you think about leadership, effective leadership is flexible to change, but the changes that they make come into the packaging of just new methodology. When you're flexible and you're committed to change or creating new methodologies, then you know how to communicate openly and often the direction that you want to go in. It's nothing wrong with new ideas. It's nothing wrong with new approaches, as long as it does not compromise the sanctity of what we believe. great leadership, in my humble opinion, is committed to ongoing training and development. And if we're going to be relevant, it's about understanding how to minister in these times. It's learning how to understand the language and how to use our language to get them to understand something that is ancient, something that is archaic, not prehistoric, but it is an ancient, archaic writing, the Bible, and then finding a way to make it more palatable and more acceptable, not taking away the strength of it or the meaning of it, but putting it in a paradigm that they can embrace. It's just like teaching and preaching. I think we fail many times in our communication because we don't understand that the language of the preacher or the communicator becomes the ears and the eyes of the listener to frame in their mind a picture of what we're talking about. So we don't use the right language, their ears and their eyes cannot see the picture that we're trying to paint. So we have to learn how, in my humble opinion, to communicate better. And I think once we do that, we won't have to worry about losing our relevance. We'll be relevant, and we won't have to worry about trying to blend in or to become a composite of something we were not called to be. That's in my opinion.
And I mean, now, when you think about staying relevant, what are some of the points or what are some of the things that you could share with, other ministries, leaders today? What are some of the things that will keep them sharp, keep them relevant, keep them on the cutting edge? Where do you get that from? Where do we?
I think being consistent in what we say. I think strong ethics, strong morality, and I think those areas provide for us a sense of safety. And I think we lose our relevance when we're not consistent in what we say. Our behavior is one thing and our words are something else. Okay, for an example, what did the prophet say? You honor me with your lips. You honor God with your words, but your heart is far away from me. I think we have to, in fact, I know we're going to have to do a better job at living what we say we practice. We've got to practice what we preach, as Barry White would say. Right. I mean, that's where we have to be. Now, unfortunately, because me and you both know the word and we're biblicists, Jesus tells us that is not an excuse for you not to hear what I say because I don't do what I say. He says, do what I do, do what I say rather, but don't do what I do. But I think we can be more effective and more relevant in this society if they see us being consistent with what we say, because we're not consistent. And come on, Mitch, you know this. I say it ad nauseum. Moral subjectivism, floating ethics. We're not consistent. We're not fair. We're not balanced. We're out of balance. We judge things with an unfair, unbalanced scale. I think when people see us at least attempting to do what we say is right and what is wrong, I think that begins for me the starting point of real relevance. And I think that's the nexus. We're not consistent with what we say, and we don't do what we say. We don't live what we say. And then you may not agree with this, but we don't defend what we believe, because what we believe is always subject to change. So if I don't believe what I say, and I certainly can't say I believe it because I don't practice it, that means then what I will practice is subject to change. So we're vacillating in and out of different things, and we're not concretized in any conviction. It's all subjectivism.
Well, I mean, listen, one of the reasons why I think that, you know, we're ever learning and ever coming into the knowledge of truth. So I think that, you know, our relevance may fluctuate. You know, I think there is a percentage of fluctuation that is allowed because of the expansion of truth. But to be as unstable as water, I think what you're describing is not a healthy pathian for us, you know, that want to demonstrate a faith context. And I mean, I think people respect you more when you are who you are. This is who I am. This is what I believe. I believe this today, and I believe this tomorrow. Now, my faith context may expand by a small percentage based on new information, but I'm not going to be black today and white tomorrow.
You're right, and but I guess based on the leadership competencies that we talked about from Harvard, they said any effective leader is open to new ideas and new approaches. Doesn't mean they change the core values of what they believe, but they're open to executing them in different ways. And I think we have to be open as long as what we do doesn't bring under question the sanctity of the God that we serve. And I think that is important. Anything I do that brings God under an indictment is something I shouldn't be doing. Right. Anything I do that causes people to sequester my God is something that I should not do, particularly when they're sequestering and they're bringing the God that I serve under question as it relates to his consistency. Well, you said we couldn't do this. You said we shouldn't do that. But I see that these are things now that you're embracing. If I can't defend it biblically, I don't believe we should be doing it. That's really what I believe. If we cannot defend what we believe through the scriptures, we should not be doing it, because everything we do, you and I believe, is found in this Bible right here. This is supposed to be our manual and our guide to our faith practice, to our traditions, and what we believe. Now, we may have to dig deep in the scriptures and unpack them in a way that is relevant for 21st century ears. But it's in here. If you search hard enough, it's in here. That's what I believe.
And it doesn't change. And it's in there. And you know, and there's something about if you wanna hide something from somebody, put it in the book. You know what I mean? I could never understand why our parents would hide. They would put money in the Bible because you ain't never going in the Bible. You know, you ain't. But the more you think you know that is in this Bible and in this book, you know, and the more you read, the more you realize you don't know. And there's so many, you know, things that we can take away that are so valuable, you know, to our life and living today, if we just took time out just to ingest this word that is before us.
And Mitch, nobody talks about servant leadership anymore. I'm sure people do talk about it. Nobody talks about what it is to be a servant leader, because the greatest example, absolutely, for servant leadership is Jesus Christ. He's the greatest example of servant leadership.
Well, I mean,
you want to be great? Humble yourself. He that is greatest serves, not the one who is served, but the one who serves is the greatest. We don't talk about servant leadership. We talk about titles, positions, special seats, being recognized, being popular, but not being effective. I mean, those are the things that we don't talk much about. And then Jesus, what did Jesus say? He said, when you're invited somewhere, let's talk about a marriage. He says, when you get there, don't go to the dais. Don't go to the lower dais. In fact, don't go to any dais at all. Find you a seat that's in obscurity. They don't even have to know you're there. He says, but when you go sit at the dais, someone may come in of greater reputation than you, and then you're going to be asked to come down. It would be better to be asked to come up than for someone to say, you're in the wrong seat. Come, come here. You wrong spot. Come. And they put you in obscurity. We don't talk much about servant leadership anymore. And that to me is why we're producing these entitled believers, because we don't talk about the process of fellowship. We just talk about being in charge, being a leader.
That's true. And let me ask you, you are also, a consummate sportsman. And I wrote this down. I'm glad thank God for notes. But what did you think when you brought the servant leader thing up? What did you think about the Super Bowl commercials this year? I mean, I know.
Mitch, you're not going to believe this. I know you can think I'm crazy. I did not watch any commercial. I mean, I was into the game, but I wasn't really into the game. And it's crazy. I'm at the church at the party, Super Bowl party, and called in 2 or 3 different people to have meetings with them about church. So I'm watching, but I'm not watching. Then when I got home, I saw the fourth quarter and the overtime, but I didn't see any of the commercials. And normally I like watching the commercials because those are the best. That's the best part of the Super Bowl is the commercials.
Well, I thought maybe that's where you was going with the servant leader thing, because they had a commercial on the Super Bowl. I wanted to get, maybe the Real Talkers can help get their opinion about washing feet.
Wow.
And when I saw it, I think it came on at least twice. And
wow,
when I
didn't
saw
see
it the
that.
first time, I saw people washing people's feet, and I'm like, and I thought maybe it was going to be like one of those, what's the name of the foot powder that we used to put on? We ain't going to call the name, whatever it was. I'm not giving free advertising, but the foot powder you put, I thought it was going to be a foot powder commercial or a corn commercial or whatever, calluses or whatever. But it just ended with people washing each other's feet. Now, Barbara Warren, you missed that too? Did y'all? Barbara said you loved that commercial? Okay, you saw that commercial. All right, but Barbara Warren said she missed that commercial.
I didn't see. What was the gist of the commercial though?
Humility.
Okay.
Humility. Now, Morning Joe commented on it today, and he was commenting on the commercial. He said, "Oh, defeat commercial." And then he said, yeah, that was helping. That was for the 49ers, getting them ready for defeat. But they were making a joke out of it. But it was put on by a Christian alliance or Christian group that was promoting humility. And
They
Brotherly
paid a
love.
lot for that. You know, those commercials, man.
7 million. 7
Yeah,
million.
they go. They're up there. $7 million for that commercial. That's
30
a
seconds.
lot of money.
Now, I thought I read 30 million. I mean, 7 million for 30 seconds.
Wow.
Now, there was Kanye had a commercial, and his commercial was him on his iPhone saying, "I bought the time, but we forgot to build the commercial." And he said he just put his website up and was directing people to the website. But yeah, I mean, marketing, you know, at its best. But what impressed me the most was that commercial on washing feet. And I thought that when you went into that servant leadership piece, that you were going to make reference to that commercial at the Super Bowl about
I've
washing.
never even seen a faith-based commercial during the Super Bowl because, quite frankly, they're so expensive. The airtime it's prime time. The Super Bowl, you know, football is the number one sport in North America. That is our number one sport. The money that it generates. So just to have a 30-second, 15-second, 20-second commercial costs millions of dollars. So I wouldn't think a faith-based company who probably is nonprofit would pay that type of money for a commercial. But I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, Bronacat one said they saw it. They didn't expect a faith-based commercial as well. Yeah, it was, you know, it was a very subliminal message that I thought was very powerful, very impactful. You know, I'm just wondering what would be the follow-up. I guess that's a classic.
But see, this is what has me concerned. It was powerful to you because you're spiritual.
Mm.
And the Bible says that, you know, we who are spiritual understand the deep things of God. Though very simplistic, but yet it takes spirit to discern spiritual messages. And that message would impact us differently than someone who does not have a faith tradition or faith practice. They may have just tried, what did that commercial mean? But it could have been an evangelistic outreach moment that they said, well, you know, whoever the faith-based company was, that I'm sure that their name came up and they could go on a search to find out, who is this? What does this mean? So it could have been used as a very ingenious outreach moment for those, you know, who may have been touched by watching that act of humility or the act of washing somebody's feet. We'll never know. We'll never know. But for you and I, we see it as what a tremendous message.
Right.
But
right.
We're spiritual. And the lens that we look at those things through is much differently than those of the world.
Right. I want to correct the name. I just saw the hand. Abronia, yes.
Yeah, Abronia from Chicago. Yes.
Abronia, yes. She saw that. She didn't expect to see a faith-based commercial.
Okay.
And yeah. So I thought that was very, very, very powerful. But going back to the servant leadership piece, you know, it goes back to people and giving their convenience. Today is not a day where people are giving away their convenience or their time. And watch this, you know, if they do give it away, it's not going to be without a fight. Now, that's a powerful analogy. If I give you my convenience, if I give you my volunteerism, if I give you my servant leadership, if I give you my lay leadership, it's not going to be without a fight or without a struggle. What does that mean?
People are not, you're right. People are not giving up convenience. They're not. They're not going to be inconvenienced.
But if they are, it's like fasting. I'm doing it, but I'm not happy about this right now. You know, I'm turning down my plate, but you know what? I'm not a, you know, when Shabbat comes or Shavat, you know, depending on how you pronounce it, when the sun goes down on Friday and the Jews start their Shavat, they don't say, all right, happy Shavat. They ain't nothing happy about the fact that I can't eat, can't use mechanical devices, can't drive in the car. If I want to go somewhere, I gotta walk there. No. So the better word is easy fast.
But you know, Mitch, I think, you know, I think you're right. I know you're right in many instances, but I do believe there's a segment of people that understand fasting and praying as a part of our faith walk with God. I think they believe that, they embrace that. And if they didn't, I mean, we would probably not see the type of participation that we do have in January. Your prayer revival is a wonderful expression of that, where people, they get up 5 o'clock in the morning to get online. And prior to the pandemic, I was there. I know what I'm talking about. They'd be lining up outside of Center of Hope 5:30 to get in, and it would be jam-packed every morning. We wasn't online. So I think that there is a remnant of people that see the importance of the fast and the consecration and the prayer. And I think you're right. By and large, we hear those who are not making the sacrifice, are not giving up their convenience. But I believe there's a remnant of us, and you're the top of that list. That, you know what? I know it's not popular to make a sacrifice. I know it's not popular to give up my convenience, but this is part of my faith practice. I believe in mortifying, crucifying my flesh. And one way I do it is I don't eat. And you know what? I do like it. I like how it makes me feel when it's over. You know, of course, the process is grueling, is drudgery, but the effects that I reap when it's over is so great. So, you know, and that's always something I love to applaud you about, because there's not many that I know that have started a prayer revival at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, it's one thing to do it from home, but when they coming to the church, that is a sacrifice of a convenience, because it's much easier to roll over, call a prayer call line, put it on speakerphone, and be half lucid or no lucid hearing other people pray. But to come to the church and be in worship, because Sheila Austin said something, and I believe that. What you have done, I believe what I'm doing is developing people to have self-discipline, because fasting is self-discipline.
Yeah.
And you can't have fruit of spirit and don't have what's called self-control. That's one of the elements of the behavior attributes of the fruit of the spirit. Temperance, we call it temperance, but it's self-control. Fasting and praying and all of that is supposed to develop what? Self-control.
That's right. Yep. Yep. And you need those. Listen, life is a process of growing the disciplines. And unfortunately, we learn a lot of these disciplines, and you know, maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe maybe I learned it late. Maybe I don't know. I learned the disciplines, and now I feel like I got a limited window to exercise and extend.
I feel the same way, man.
And extend.
I feel the same way.
You know?
I feel the same way, man. I feel you know what? You know how much, don't get me to crying. You know how further along I would be if I had better self-discipline and self-control over myself. It's not the devil. I stopped blaming the devil a long time ago. The devil has no power over me. It's me making bad choices because I don't have control over my flesh. That's what it came from. And we got to start being honest and be accountable to that. It ain't the devil. The devil can't stop us. Not at this point of our lives. The devil can't stop us. There's nothing Satan can throw at us at this point of our lives that's going to make us turn our backs on God.
Yeah,
we're not going to do it.
Yeah, the problem is not at this point.
Not at this point. Not at this point.
But the problem wasn't at this point. The problem was at that point.
That point, correct. At that point,
yeah.
But at this point, nah. Anything that happens to us now is because there's a lack of discipline and a lack of accountability. Because we clearly know right from wrong, and we lived enough life to know the consequence and the repercussion from bad choices. We know that. We can't lie about that. We can't embellish. We can't fabricate it. We can't hyperbolize. We know what a good choice and a bad choice is because we made enough of them on both sides.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, and of course, this I don't want to lose the elasticity of the impotence of this discourse. And we were saying that, no good deed goes unpunished. Let me summarize it that way. All right. And that's why if you have auxiliaries, you have ministries, clubs, whatever in the church, every one of them will have their forms of disputes and whatever. And because you're going to pay for my convenience.
That's the zeitgeist of today. That's the climate of the day. Convenience.
Right.
Nobody wants to be inconvenienced.
Right.
If I gotta struggle for it, I don't know if I want to do it. Everything is at our fingertips now. Everything.
Let me ask you a question. Somebody asked me today, and we're almost at the end of this journey. But this is an interesting question. Interesting question. If you had the choice to die and go to heaven right now, you ain't sick, you're in your right mind, you're going to have plenty of money to live comfortably, it might even get better for you. Probability is if things are the way they are now, it's going to get better. But I can give you heaven now, or I can just let you hang out to see what the end is going to be.
You asked me the question. Are you asking me?
I want to know from all of y'all, what is your answer? What is your choice? You that love the Most High God. I can't wait to be with Jesus. I can't. Oh, how I want.
Well, did you answer the question?
We're not asking that. We're not asking a question with a question. We're asking the real talkers tonight.
Okay, so we're going to wait for them to answer it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't answer the question because I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I know how to answer that very easily. I would love to, because of selfish reasons, I would love to stay right here because I have some selfish reasons why I want to be here. I want to see my grandchildren grow older. I want to be there when they're married. I want great grandchildren. There's certain, and it's nothing about money, because that's going to come. Like you said, it's going to come. It's a part of what we do. It's going to come to us. It's going to find us. Health. Thank God for health. But if I was to say be healthy and stay here longer with finances and resources, with the ability to still minister to people, or die and go and be away with the Lord, my choice, because of selfishness, would be to be here to see certain things happen in the lives of other people, and my family in particular. I want to be there when I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna be there when my granddaughter gets married, because I'm marrying her. I'm gonna be there when Carter's at the altar with a girl. I'm gonna be there to marry him. That's my selfishness. And it's not about money. It's not about continuing to build my ministry in a church and to be known. I've done all that. I want to now pour back into my grandchildren, people who see me as a father. I want to pour into them. Children that go to my ministry whose parents have given them to me to mentor and to train. I want to see them maximize themselves. Now, die and be with the Lord, I'm going to do that anyway. Because I'm going to do right. I ain't got to worry about being with the Lord. I'm going to be with the Lord. Before it's all said and done, listing page is going to have every I dotted and every T crossed, because I am not going to be doing this for 60 years and die and go to anybody's hell. It ain't going to go down like that. I'm going to see Jesus in peace. I just believe that. So why not be here to handle all of the other selfish things, like love on your family, love on people, do ministry? Man, me and you love preaching. Me and you love teaching. Why give that up when I can do it and still go and be with the Lord? I mean, that would be my answer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And it again proves the point of God making us in the Imago Dei, and us having all of the resources. He gave it to us, and then to have it, and then to have to release it. Because here's the thing, here's the point. We got power. We are, according to the Gospel of John, little gods. And power is not relinquished. Power is arrested. And God has to relieve us. We don't relinquish the power of life. We have to be relieved of it. And, everybody talks about heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. Period. We'd rather live in this context. If I could live in this context and not have to worry about anything in this context, health, we want to stay right here until staying right here doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think you feel the same way. I think,
I do.
Yeah, we got time. We got time to die. If I could use that term, we got time to die. In fact, we're dying every day. I'm getting closer to the grave every day. But if I can, with my relationship with God, ask him to do anything for me. At this point, it would be allow me to see everyone in my family saved. Let me witness that. Let me see everyone that I have been blessed to lead and pastor and make an impact to. Let me see them fulfill their purpose and maximize their gifts and their talents. Let me see that. Let me see that. Because when you said that, I think about Abraham did not see what God promised him. He didn't see it. He saw some of it, but he didn't see it. Abraham, Isaac didn't see it. Jacob didn't see it. They didn't see it. Even to the point where Jacob says to Joseph and them, listen, when I die, I know you're going to have me here in Egypt, but this is what I need you to do.
Take my bones.
Take my bones up and take them to the promised land. I want to be able to see. If I had a choice now, Lord, let me see. Let me see some people come back and just say, thank you. That word you spoke, you don't even know who I am, but I was about to commit suicide. And I heard you spoke a word. I never got a chance to get to know you, but my life is better because of you. That's the type of stuff I want to stay alive to witness. Not the money, not the popularity. All of that comes with what we do. But seeing people's lives change in particular, because as we get older, what becomes more important now is family. At the end of the day, it's family now. Seeing your family follow in your footsteps and come to know the Lord and be a child of God. I want to see that. That's what I want to see. Wow.
Well, listen, I don't know. We saved the best for last for some reason here. But thank you, Real Talkers, for being with us again on a Monday night. If it's Monday night and it's 9 p.m., it's time for Real Talk. And again, and again, and again, there's no time like the present. And I believe that, as you've said, Bishop, over and over again, as we came out of 2023, you made a declaration that this is going to be the greatest season of your life. And here we are now moving into that season in a brand new year. And the same declaration with a whole new lease starting in 2024 to receive over and over again those new declarations, or the residuals of those declarations that continue to bless us over and over again. So this has been powerful. I'm excited. I see Bishop Donald Oliver joined us on tonight. Bless you, Bishop, all the way from South Carolina. I think it's Aiken, South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. And to all the Real Talkers that joined us on tonight. Bishop, we've got some services coming up. Wednesday morning is our Wednesday morning word. Sanctuary opens up at 5 a.m. and the word begins at 6. Encourage everyone to join us on Wednesday morning for the Wednesday morning word. And then Wednesday afternoon at 12 noon, join Pastor Hassan Clark at the Center of Hope for the Wednesday word on Wednesday at 12. Tomorrow, please be careful tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be aggressive snowstorms and mixed with rain, possibly 2 to 6 inches. But hey, that's the weatherman's prediction. God has the final say. Govern yourselves accordingly. They have closed schools here in New York. Not sure about New Jersey. Wednesday evening, Bishop Page, we have
School of the Bible at 7 o'clock. Everyone meet me on the platform on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a tremendous time.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Then Friday night, what do we have on Friday night?
My Friday night encounter. Can't wait till Friday night. Friday, in fact, this Friday night, Mitch, I'm going to be doing, I'm hoping to have a continued discussion with the Joint College of Bishops Adjutant Consortium on this coming Friday night.
Oh, wow. That's going to be powerful. Okay. So there you have it. All roads lead to the Highway Church on Friday night for the College of Bishops continuation of the Adjutants Consortium. You don't want to miss that. And the College of Bishops is coming up in March 12th to the
15th.
March 12th to the 15th, Cleveland, Ohio. All right, listen, the ways to give are on the screen. Those of you that are ready to sow, it's offering time. It's offering time, and I'm asking everyone on tonight
please
to sow your seed on this evening. Those of you that are watching, those of you that have been blessed, not only tonight, but every week that we're on, we know that you're receiving. We pray that you will be reciprocal and giving and sowing your seed on today. I was explaining on yesterday in church that I wasn't receiving an offering, and this wasn't a play on words. I wanted them to give a seed, and I wanted them to contextualize it as a seed because what they were giving, it was going to grow. And so when you use the context of a seed, you're giving something that you expect to grow. And so on tonight, I want you to give a seed because you expect it to grow. And I believe that what you make happen, thank you, Mother Gray, for somebody else, God will make happen for you. And so we ask that you would consider sowing a seed on tonight. And I believe that you will be blessed and highly favored for doing such. The ways to give are on the screen. Those of you that are giving and watching after this broadcast has already aired and you're watching it, and you too still have time, and we ask that you would sow a seed as well. All right. Any final words, Bishop, as we are signing off on tonight?
Let's be praying for Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, that experience that gunfire on yesterday in between services. A young lady, 36-year-old, with her son, 7 years old, came into the church and opened up fire prayerfully, and we thank God that not many people were injured. Of course, she lost her life, and her son is in critical condition. But let's keep the church in prayer. Let's keep the victims in prayer. And it goes back to something we talked about 3 years ago, Mitch. The next pandemic was going to be a mental health pandemic. And they've done the research and found out that she was struggling with bouts of mental illness for many years. So let's be in prayer for those who are having those type of thoughts and challenges in their mind, because we don't know who we come in contact with every day that looks like they're sane, but they're having some breakdown. So let's keep them in prayer.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I meant to say that from the top of the hour when I talked about Bishop Green. In some kind of way, I got sidetracked. The little boy is in critical condition.
Yeah.
So we're praying that, that he would survive and pull through. And yeah, that's, it's real. It's real. And
yeah,
things are happening, all over the land. And that we're definitely praying for the Lakewood Church and the families that were there during that time. Wow. What a
Mitch, think about the trauma. Even those who did not experience being shot, just the trauma being in that environment. And I think Valencia Clark is right. I think you're right, Valencia. We do need to have a topic on church security. I think that is a very important discussion that we probably need to broach going forward. Because there was a time where church was a sacred environment where no one would violate it. But that day is long gone now.
Man, that's we would, it's funny because we were talking about church security parenthetically. I think either this Sunday or the past Sunday, and I was just saying, that running up in urban churches is not the smartest tactic for most criminals. You know what I'm saying? Because you run up in the wrong church,
not mine.
Nice.
Not mine.
It's not going to be that nice. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, you just, again, self-discipline. And see, Valencia, you are right. You see, because I have to, I got to calm down. My guys got to calm down because, everybody's strapped.
Got to de-escalate. You have to you have to find a way to de-escalate it. Because
see, everybody is strapped. And the point is, innocent people, you trying to be a hero, but listen, innocent people, it's just, man, it's just really, you're right. That's a great conversation. I love to get, head of my security on and get some folk, and we need to talk about that because that is really a good topic for us to kind of.
It is,
and I think people, head on the swivel. I was talking to Shafi, one of the guys is hanging out with me, and he was just agreeing with me, saying, "Yeah, Bishop, you're right. Head on the swivel. You can't sleep not 1 second.
You can't sleep at the wheel now.
No, nope. Man. You got to have your head on a swivel, looking, being aware, and whatnot. And people being around us, they have to be aware. When we're proverbially kissing babies and shaking hands, they can't be kissing babies and shaking. They got to be watching what's going on.
And they have to be willing to de-escalate. They cannot add fuel to the fire. They have to have control of their temperament. They have to know how to move without bringing attention to a situation. I think classes and training is very important today. It has to be.
You're right. You can't pick up people and move them to the side just because they're in your way. You can't do that. You got to use some tact and discipline. Yep. All right. Well, listen, this has been great. This has been awesome. Thank you, Bishop Oliver, for your seed on tonight. Thank you. Those of you that are sowing seed on tonight, do it before we sign off. Do it before we sign off. And God bless you for the same on tonight. All right. Education is most important. Yeah, you're right. Education is very important. Training is very important, Valencia. You're right. And staying woke is also very important. You're right. You got to stay woke. All of those things. All right. Listen, this has been thank you, Barbara, for your seed. This has been another tremendous conversation and dialogue. Next week, we hope to see everyone back with us. It's President's Day. It's President's Day. Yeah, next Monday night, President's Day. And we'll be here talking about the president. How about that? God bless you, Real Talkers. God bless you on tonight. And we'll see you on next Monday night. Walk with the King today and be a blessing.